Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. It is April the 7th, 8:31 a.m. EST, and we are here taking a look at the markets. Before we get started, like, subscribe. Half of you who watch this, actually more than half who watch this, are not subscribed. So go ahead and do that. Give a like, subscribe, helps us get out there. We're the best kept secret in the internet trading world. Facts. All right, so NASDAQ is kind of the linchpin for markets right now. So I like to look at the NASDAQ because it pushes everything around. It pushes Bitcoin around. It has a lot to do with silver and gold in a way. A strong move in NASDAQ will cause silver and gold to move as well in certain directions. So if you can kind of see what's going to happen with the NASDAQ, you can also see what happens with the other stuff. So we're going to start there. And yeah, so just going to back it out here, take a look at a higher time frame, take a look at a bit more data from the past. I had called out that price was probably going to make its way down to, at some point, about 22,500, really 22,480. And it almost made it there. For the last several weeks, last couple months, really, price ranged. Made an all-time high in October, tried to get that high, tried to reclaim that the end of January this year. And then we had the whole war in Iran start, and price just kind of bumped around in this consolidation. And this is a top formation. You have basically double top. You have price trying to reclaim and not quite making it as high as it did before. So when you have that happen, that is a clue that price is going to take a fall. So when you have this happen right here, and of course, I have data on the algo stack. I just have data down here, and it's all correlated and combined over time frames. And basically, it did look like price was going to fall, and fall it did. And I had been saying for weeks going back, really, probably to the beginning of the year, if not before, the price was going to fall down and probably touch this 22,500 at some point. Now, things really happened in a straight line. And the reason it would do that is because price tends to grab prior highs. So as I demonstrated here last week, price made this high at 16.9, so almost 17,000. This is back in 2021, and then price shot up after the Russian-Ukraine conflict started. Price shot up, and then it came back down and grabbed liquidity just below that high. And that happened in 2025. So it made a new high here at the beginning of 2025, really at the end of 24. And you had the same top formation where you had price make an all-time high, try to grab that high again. And then we had the taper. Taper, not the taper tantrum. It was the tariff tantrum, right? And then price really made its way down. The reality was actually DeepSeek happened back here in December, and that took a lot of the air out of the AI market. So that's really what kind of slowed things down and allowed this all to happen. I think the tariff tantrum was secondary. That said, though, that happened. Price grabbed the prior high. Well, the same thing's happening now because this was the prior high, and price came down, almost grabbed it. Didn't quite get there, though. So not to say that it has to go there, but it probably will at some point. So what's happening at this point? Well, I'm just taking a look at the algos here, the algo stack, the indicator stack, really. There is room for the NASDAQ to continue heading up a bit. But in reality, it's at a spot where it really could just go either way. The high time frame look is a bit vulnerable. There's a lot of stress on the market. It may want to head down. So right now, what we're trying to figure out is it going to retrace it all right now? Is it going to maybe head down a bit towards the local low at 22,952, or might it head down and finally grab that and then shoot up? Or may it not do any of those things? It might just simply head kind of sideways and up, and let's fix that. Give me a second. Might head sideways and up and just get back into this range. And then after that, we'll have to kind of see what it does, right? Ranges are difficult to predict. You kind of have to let price break out of the range before you have any idea what it's going to do. Up or down, that is. That's just how ranges go. Let's fix this so we can see it better. So right now, in fact, price is in a bit of a mini range. So it's in a smaller range at this moment. And that range is between 24,433 and 24,128, right? So if price were to touch either of those levels, maybe, going short at the bottom is not the worst idea if you are, like, say, a day trader. That might be the way to go. Let's see, what chart are we on right now? We're on the 3 hour. So if I were to go down to like the half-hour chart, it might make it easier to see this, but price is just kind of bouncing off these levels. So now that it's happened, more than once on the top here, if you want to be realistic about it, um, one could have gone, or one could go short if price comes up to here again, right? And get themselves a nice trade, nice 4-to-1. If you want to be conservative with your stop loss, make it like 3-to-1. However you do your stops, that's up to you. In fact, these are just ideas. We don't tell you how to trade here. We're just telling you ideas. And then one could also, if price comes back down here, go along and have that same action, because we know how long this range is going to go, and ranges go until they don't. So this is a great way to make a lot of profit, where you get these 3-to-1 trades. Might get two of them, make 6-to-1 profit, meaning that 6-to-2 profit. So basically 3-to-1 means that you put in like $1,000 and you pull out 3,000, or you put in 100, you pull out 300, right? So you can touch the bottom here, grab 300. Now you might lose 100. It's possible, right? But even if you were to lose two of these and win one, you're still in profit by $100. So it's very profitable to range trade. And it seems that, let's see, this is Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, there are at least a couple trades a day in here until there aren't, right? So, but typically the way that price action works on a higher time frame here is that price will come back to a prior range. And look how many range trades there were right here. Now this did take, this is a higher time frame. These are bigger trades. It was over a month. And see how these ranges aren't exactly clean, but you have some pretty predictable moves. 1, 2, 3 nice trades right here. This one might have been a winner, but it also might have been too early to do. So you had this one's a nice one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners, 1 loser, and then you probably would have lost this one. So 5 winners at 3-to-1, right? And then you have like a couple losers at where you only lose 1. So it's a great way to go. Now, price tends to come back and grab liquidity at these areas. Price is attracted to these ranges. It's the way that it works. And that's the reason it is that way, is because the large players are, they're going to need to fill their positions. So if price gets bullish for a while, then what it's going to do is it's going to just move in a bullish direction until there's a reason for it to. And the reason for not that the large players start to fill in their shorts at this area if, in fact, they think price will go down. V the Grill, how you doing, sir?
Namaste, my friend. How are you?
Namaste. I'm good. We're talking price action. Well, they're trying to teach people how price goes up and down and why.
You spin me right around with the price.
It always goes right, never left. So with that said, it could be that price does grab liquidity. Like I said, it might head back down. It might not. And by the way, once it's in a range like this, the only way to really know what's going to happen is for it to break out. Like, we can have a bias, but in the end, it's, the best way to play a range, in my opinion, is to do what I just talked about, take the range trades. If you can predict a breakout, sometimes I can, and I do trade that. But I wait for it to break out to do that. So, but that's the NASDAQ, and the market's pretty quiet at this time. So there's just a lot of range action here. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. Covered this yesterday. Look, Bitcoin, I think, is in the middle of being done, meaning that the bear market is upon us. Lisa, thanks for coming in. I think that the way to look at this, though, is this is kind of like a giant range. If I really wanted to be cleaner about the range itself, it's not a very pretty one. It's not very, it's harder to trade this, not that well defined, but effectively price is kind of bouncing around, and it's either going to go up or down, of course, but it's either going to break out topside or it's going to break down bottom side. And these two levels are key. You got the 60,000 and you have 76,000. And there are plays in between here, right? This goes back to like February. And there are plays and trades to be made. We made this, we got this trade in Algo Factory. I actually took this trade right here. Price made its way up to 76. I took profit at 74, but it was just a pretty obvious thing that was going to happen according to my algos. So there's money to be made in this area, but on the wider look, what's going to happen in the future? Look, price might break topside and go to 80. It's possible. I think the more likely scenario, even if it does that, is that prices eventually, whether it just kind of bounces here and goes down, or whether you get price heading up to grab, say, 80,000 or even higher, I think eventually it's going to make its way down and we're going to see price head down towards 50,000. And then we'll start to move into the bear market proper. And V and I both have very similar predictions of price heading down below 30,000, 25, 26,000. It's just what it does every bear cycle. It makes a top and then it falls like, 85, 80%, anywhere from 75 to 85%, usually around 80. And 80% down is around 26,000. So I see no reason for that not to happen this time. It might be different, but when you trade, you have to base everything in probabilities. And the only data we have goes back to the prior 4-year cycles. Now, those prior 4-year cycles all behave the same. And they behave the same, then it's an 80% drop off the top. And that means about 26,400 days out from the high, which puts us in October, November for that low around 26,000. So that's pretty much the way it goes. Via the Gorilla, we have you on. We're about to move on to the private live lab, but is there anything you want to tell the public here before we go, or anything you want to see and share with the public?
No, I mean, it's been pretty quiet. I think a lot of the rhetoric around the markets right now is around the whole entire war. When's it going to be over? Is this madman going to capitulate, or is he going to look for an off-ramp and actually use the off-ramps that have been already given to him? He's been offered many off-ramps, and it's just a matter of him choosing the right one. And is he able to even communicate without Bibi Netanyahu's genitals coming out of his mouth? We don't even know. But anyway, Other than that, the market's pretty quiet. Like I said, with Bitcoin, months and months and months ago, I told you this is going to be it's going to be a shit show. The shit show is occurring right in front of your eyes. There's a lot more details if you want to know the skinny, whether it's the crypto market or the larger economy as a whole, precious metals. The only place that you're going to have any sort of sense, real intelligence, real actionable intelligence is over at Algo Factory. That's where you get all the secret sauce. So join us over there. Click the link in the description box, sign up, and join the most prolific trading organization on God's green earth. With that being said, Cowboy, let's go to the private live lab.
Join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. We love you. We'll be back tomorrow.
You might die.
Everybody dies, but
But not everybody really trades.
Right. Not everybody really tries. I like that. Every man dies.
But not every man really trades.
Really trades. Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. EST.